Something is happening in the heartland of America. It is a slow, methodical shift. It does not make the evening news. It happens in quiet county offices, through deeds and titles. The world is changing. Giants of tech now buy land. Not a little land, millions of acres. They are moving vast sums of money away from the ephemeral world of screens and code. They are moving it into soil, into the very ground beneath our feet. The world's most powerful tech titans are abandoning the digital cloud for something much more grounded. Millions of acres of American soil. They aren't just buying dirt, they are securing a monopoly over the global food supply. While the stock market fluctuates, these billionaires are betting on the only unhackable asset that exists. Why are the architects of the internet suddenly obsessed with proprietary irrigation patents and soil health metrics? There is a silent migration of capital happening right beneath our feet that most people are completely ignoring. Silicon Valley is quietly pivoting to control the one resource that will never become obsolete: our primary food chain. Software wealth can vanish in a single market crash, but you can't delete a million acres of farmland. Tech billionaires are utilizing data-driven strategies to transform digital billions into permanent, physical power. This isn't a hobby. It's a calculated move to own the ultimate finite resource before the rest of the world wakes up. This is not a hobby for the ultra-rich. This is not a retirement plan. This is a deliberate, calculated strategy. This silent strategic acquisition has a name. We can call it the Great Tech Land Grab. It is a quiet march across the American landscape, often obscured by complex corporate structures and LLCs designed to mask the true ownership. It happens in the public record, but you have to know where to look. It is a slow, steady, and relentless buying of the nation's farmland, acre by acre, county by county. They are names you know, etched into the very fabric of our digital lives. Public records reveal figures like Bill Gates as one of the largest private farmland owners in the country. But he is not alone. Anonymous hedge funds, secretive private equity groups, investment consortiums from Silicon Valley are also major players. Big money, generated in the virtual world, is now buying small towns and the vast agricultural landscapes that surround them. Why now? What has triggered this monumental shift from digital assets to physical earth? One clear driver is market fear. The violent swings in tech stocks have spooked even the most confident investors. When the digital markets shake, the truly wealthy do not just hope for a recovery, they seek refuge. They look for safe harbors to store their immense value. Real assets, like farmland, offer that safety. Land cannot be printed by a central bank. It cannot be conjured in a server room. In an age of digital uncertainty, land looks like a fortress, an unbreachable store of value against the coming storms. These are not random acts of investment. They are a coordinated movement, guided by data, driven by long-term strategic foresight, and executed with ruthless efficiency. Let us look closer at this algorithmic advantage. While everyone else saw Silicon Valley as a place for software, these visionaries saw it as a training ground for the real world. They honed their skills in building systems that could analyze petabytes of data to predict human behavior. What you would click, what you would buy, what you would watch. Now they are applying that same predictive power to the behavior of plants, weather, soil. They are turning the art of farming into a hard science, a predictable and scalable industrial process. The farm is no longer just a piece of land. It is a data-generating asset, a factory without a roof. The scale of data collection is staggering. A single large-scale tech-enabled farm can generate terabytes of data every single day. They watch crop health in real time. They measure soil nutrients to the inch. They track water use to the drop. One fund projects a 30% increase in yield, generating an additional 400 per acre annually. This is the algorithmic advantage. It begins long before a single seed is planted. Companies use geological surveys and historical climate data to model potential. They analyze soil composition at a granular level, then prescribe exact seed varietals and fertilizer mixes. Satellites monitor the shade of green as an indicator of nitrogen. Ground sensors report soil moisture with unparalleled accuracy. Autonomous machines plant seeds with robotic precision, ensuring perfect spacing and depth. Drones apply pesticides only where needed, reducing costs and environmental impact. The result? Efficiency and productivity traditional farming struggles to match. Higher yields mean higher profits, and higher profits consolidate into greater power. The tools are not off the shelf. Proprietary systems maintain the edge. They develop and patent entire agricultural ecosystems. Data comes from satellites in orbit, sensors buried in the soil, drones flying overhead, turned into decisions that print money from the ground up. The new landowners can secure better financing because their yield predictions are backed by hard data, negotiate better prices for bulk inputs, operate with fewer workers. A single operator can now oversee 5,000 acres, reducing labor costs by an estimated $500,000 per year for a large operation. The true long-term power in this land grab is not just in owning the acres, but in owning the ideas that make those acres productive. We are witnessing the rise of a new kind of intellectual property monopoly, one grounded in the earth itself. When a new hyper-efficient drip system uses 40% less water, they patent it. When an AI can spot a crop disease from space, they copyright the code and protect the algorithm as a trade secret. Subscribe to WealthVault for more content like this. When they engineer a seed suited to their machines, that seed becomes their exclusive property, creating a subtle but profound dependency. Specialized drones may only work with patented pods. Advanced seeds may require proprietary fertilizer. Sensor data might only flow through licensed platforms with hefty annual fees. A single patent for a drought-resistant seed variety was recently valued at over $1.2 billion in a private acquisition, a recurring revenue toll on anyone who wants to compete. The real fortress is not the fence. It is the wall of patents, copyrights, and proprietary data. Beneath the soil lies a hidden prize: water, often more valuable than the land itself. Many purchases are not for arable land, but for the senior water rights that come with it. In the arid West, prior appropriation means first claim has senior right. A pipeline of life you can turn on while neighbors' wells run dry. Teams hunt overlooked water claims, buying old ranches for century-old rights, fueling fights across Arizona, Colorado, California. As drought intensifies, the value of senior rights skyrockets. A parcel of non-arable land in Arizona sold for over $20,000 per acre, 10 times agricultural value, solely for groundwater rights. Control of water enables profit and political leverage, selling to desperate municipalities, influencing zoning, even holding communities hostage. He who controls the water controls the future of the region. Tech capital is funding a new generation of water technologies, creating new aquifers of manufactured water, investing heavily in desalination, historically too expensive for agriculture, with the aim to slash costs and make coastal deserts bloom. Whoever patents the most efficient method will control coastlines. Closed-loop systems treat and reapply irrigation water with minimal loss, making farms virtually immune to drought and independent from local sources. The push includes weather modification. Imagine a future where a corporation can, to some extent, decide where and when it rains. The legal and ethical implications are staggering. The ultimate vision: a diversified portfolio of water assets, protection from regional droughts, and unprecedented control. One fund prospectus promised a 200-year horizon of stable returns based on strategic acquisition of water assets. This is not short-term thinking. The strategy does not stop at the edge of the farm. It aims to own the journey from seed to the supermarket shelf, buying or building the infrastructure that moves food. The grain elevators, the cold storage, the trucking companies, and the distribution centers. Vertical integration eliminates middlemen and captures margins. An integrated farm-to-fridge system can cut spoilage rates from 30% to under 5%, adding hundreds of millions in value to a large operation. With storage and timing, they can set prices, becoming market makers, not just participants. This creates immense pressure on small farmers, a slow, methodical consolidation from soil to checkout counter. When you put all these pieces together, the land acquisition, the algorithmic advantage, the water monopoly, and the supply chain control, a disturbing picture begins to emerge. Some have started to call this trend a form of new feudalism. The top 0.1% are using their immense wealth to gain control of the land that feeds us, with century-long perspectives. Skilled work gives way to supervising machines. Local leaders are replaced by remote managers. Towns risk becoming company towns. A society where a tiny fraction controls food and water is not a society of equals. These entities can write the rules: environmental protection, labor laws, agricultural subsidies, to favor their interests. Control of food becomes a political weapon, domestically and internationally. One lobbying group spent over $50 million last year to influence water policy, dwarfing local town budgets. This is not distant. It is the logical conclusion of the current path. This vision is not inevitable. There are practical, concrete steps for citizens, communities, and policymakers. Demand transparency. Clear national registries of land ownership and water right ownership that cut through webs of LLCs and shells to reveal beneficial owners. Use zoning and land use tools to protect prime farmland and guard against absentee ownership. Create land banks and community trusts. Purchase land and lease it back to local next-generation farmers at affordable rates. Support local food systems and push schools and hospitals to buy from regional producers. Reform policy. Re-examine tax codes and subsidies that favor corporate landowners. Enforce antitrust to prevent single-firm dominance. Invest in open-source tools and data platforms accessible to all farmers. Cooperatives pool resources, buy in bulk, market together, and gain scale to compete. Local action, networked and amplified, becomes a national force. This story is not about good versus evil, nor an attack on innovation. It is about facts and consequences. Who controls our food? Who controls our water? Who will shape the markets we depend on? Owning soil is profoundly different from owning software. Soil is finite. Soil is life. Soil binds families, creates culture and community. If you had billions, would you trust software? Or something you can actually stand on? Subscribe to WealthVault for more content like this.